we'll continue with the same chapter. Today's heading you can give superconductors. Superconductors. What are superconductors? We say the conductors, please write down, the conductors whose resistance is zero, the conductor whose resistance is zero is called a superconductor, is called a superconductor. A substance with zero resistance is called a superconductor. Is it right? Metals like lead, tin, mercury, etc. behave as superconductors at a very low temperature, that is close to absolute zero, at minus 273 degrees Celsius. Absolute zero value is minus 273 degrees Celsius. That means you have to maintain very low temperature, then these metals will become superconductors. Superconductors could have been very useful. Superconductors could have been very useful if superconductivity would have been attained, attained at ordinary temperature. A superconductor could be used in electric devices to minimize the energy loss, it could be used in making electric cable, for the transmission of electric power, without loss of energy. So, due to superconductivity, a mini computer is possible. Okay, just now I gave you the definition of superconductors. Once again, what are called superconductors? Please try to understand about that. Superconductors are the conductors whose resistance is zero. The conductors with zero resistance is called a superconductor. What are the examples of superconductors? Metals like lead, mercury, tin, they behave as superconductors. Their resistance becomes zero at a very low temperature, that is minus 273 degrees Celsius temperature. Though maintaining this temperature is very difficult, it will be very expensive, and we don't have such machine to maintain this kind of temperature. Had the superconductivity, or the superconductivity is the phenomena, had superconductivity been achieved at room or ordinary temperature, superconductors could have been very, very useful. In what ways the superconductors will be useful? We can transmit the power, electric power, in the entire city through thin cable of superconductors. There will be no loss of energy. Nowadays we are using so thick cables and very expensive between the poles and all, towers and all we are using to transmit electric power. That could have easily been replaced by a thin superconducting cable, thin superconductors cable. Superconductors wire we could use in many electric devices such as motor, dynamo, transformers, etc., where unwanted loss of energy takes place in the form of heat due to resistance. Since they have no resistance, that's why they will not produce any heating effect over there. So superconductors could have been very, very useful over there. It would increase the efficiency of electrical machine. And due to superconductivity, we have mini computers. I think you must be knowing the name of the first mini computer, that was Param. And over there, the superconductivity, that technique was used. The superconductor could have been very useful in minimizing the size of a computer. It could be a computer could be changed into a pocket-sized computer. Okay, so this is all about the superconductors. Now the next topic we are doing is, what is a cell? What is a cell? Electric cell. We say an electric cell is a device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Chemical energy into electrical energy. In other words, a cell is a device which is the source of current. Cell we mainly use to draw current in a circuit through a wire. Cell gives current. Why does it give current? Because it maintains potential difference. One side terminal is positive, another side terminal is negative. So it maintains, or it gives potential difference for the flow of current. Cell diagram is like this. We do like this way. This side is positive, this side is negative. Longer side is positive, the shorter side is negative. Current will flow from positive and it goes towards the negative terminal of the cell. So it is a source of current. Number of cells together is called a battery. Cell is a single unit, whereas a battery is the number of cells together. 2 or 3 more cells together, when we join them together, it is called a battery. For battery, we draw this kind of symbol. I think you have learned in class 9, but once again you have to see this kind of symbol. This is battery, this is positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. How many cells we are having here? 1, 2, 3. More than one cell, whenever we use, we call it a battery. So that is the difference between a cell and a battery. Battery means a group of cells together. Okay. What is the role of a cell? A cell gives current in a circuit. So a cell is a source of current. Inside a cell, we will have chemicals. Those chemicals are called electrolyte. And when a cell gives current, the electrolyte also offers a kind of resistance to the flow of current. The resistance offered by the electrolyte of the cell is called internal resistance of the cell. So you can give the heading internal resistance. Internal resistance of a cell. That is denoted by small r. Internal resistance of a cell denoted by small r. Internal resistance. How can we define internal resistance of a cell? Internal means inside the cell. The resistance offered by the electrolyte of a cell. The resistance offered by the electrolyte of a cell is called the internal resistance of the cell. Internal resistance of the cell. We stop at R depends on R means internal resistance. R depends on the following factors. R depends on the following factors. Right, number 1. First factor is distance between the electrodes. Distance between the electrodes. Here you write directly proportional. Directly proportional. That means more the distance between the electrodes, more the internal resistance. Less the distance, less the internal resistance. Second factor you write temperature of electrolyte. Temperature of electrolyte. Here also directly proportional. More the temperature of the electrolyte, more the internal resistance. Less the temperature, less the internal resistance. Third factor you write area of electrodes. Area of electrodes. Here you write inversely proportional. Inversely proportional. More the area, less the resistance. Less the area, more the resistance. And the fourth factor, concentration of electrolyte. Concentration of electrolyte. Concentration of electrolyte. Here we write directly proportional. Okay, internal resistance depends on these factors. Question comes, mention one or two factors on which the internal resistance of a cell depends. We can suggest any two of them. More the concentration of the electrolyte, more the internal resistance. Like for example, we have strong acid and the dilute, concentrated acid and the dilute acid, which will be a good conductor of electricity. We say dilute because dilute will have less concentration of the acid will be there. So resistance will be less and the conduction will be more. That means dilute acid is a good conductor of electricity and the concentrated acid is a poor conductor of electricity. So these are the factors which affect the internal resistance of a cell. Okay, now give the next heading, EMF of a cell. EMF of a cell. EMF of a cell. This is denoted by symbol like this, EMF of a cell. EMF full form is electromotive force. Electromotive force. The full form of EMF is electromotive force. But mind it is not a kind of force, it is a kind of voltage, it is a kind of potential difference. Please write down the definition. It is the PD between, it is the potential difference between, between the terminals of a cell, it is the potential difference between the terminals of a cell when no current is drawn from it, when no current is taken out from it, when no current is drawn from it, when no current is drawn from it. Its SI unit is volts. It is a kind of voltage. Its SI unit is volts. It is not a force. This forces the electron to move. That's why it is called electromotive force. Electro is the word coming from electron and motive means motion. This voltage forces the motion of electron. That's why it is called EMF of a cell. One question they may ask you, give the full form of EMF. So most of the students they will write electromotive force. What is its SI unit? Here there is a confusion, chance of confusion. Since the students are writing force, they will think that it is the kind of force and they will write the SI unit Newton, which is wrong. It is not a kind of force, rather it is a kind of voltage. It is a kind of potential difference when no current is drawn from the cell. I think you must have seen a dry cell like this, dry cell. The cell which we normally use at home in clock. Sometimes we use pencil cell. small one. So the upper one is positive, the lower one is negative, and in the cell, when the cell is fresh, when the seal is present, the seal is not broken, you will read it is written 1.5 volt. That is when the seal is there. Have you drawn any current from it? Have you connected through a wire and all? The answer is no. We are not using any wire. We are not drawing any current from the cell. We are not using any bulb and making the bulb glow by using the cell. We are not drawing any current from it. What is the voltage between these two terminals? That is 1.5 volt. This is only called EMF of the cell. This is only called the EMF of the cell. The starting value of the voltage in the cell before we draw current from it. That is called EMF of a cell. And EMF of a cell, right? On EMF of a cell depends on EMF of a cell depends on EMF of a cell depends on first factor, nature of the electrodes, and number two, nature of the electrolyte, nature of the electrolytes and the nature of the electrolytes. Okay. Now give next heading. This is the last theory part of this chapter. Now they have reduced the syllabus. This is the last theory part of this chapter, and then we will be doing numericals in it. So you can give the heading combination of resistances in first case we have series. We have number of resistances or resistors will be having resistance, and we are putting them in series. There are two types of combination. One is called series combination, one is called parallel combination. So first we will be doing the series combination, the diagram for it. Series combination is like this. One resistance in the circuit we show by this line like this. Another resistance, we may have another resistance like this, so on. And we are using a cell to send current through them. We are sending, this is the voltage V, and current we are sending is I. This is the resistance R1, this is the resistance R2, this is the resistance R3. Here we find that current flowing in each resistance is the same current will flow and will be returning back to the source like this. This is positive, this is negative. Current flowing will be the same everywhere, and they are connected end to end. One end of a resistor is connected with the another end of the another resistor, and another resistor's end is connected with another end of the another resistor, and so on. They all will be the same line like this. Same current will flow. Current is not divided. Current flowing same everywhere. Such a combination is called series combination. Here the voltage will be different because the ends are changing. Here the end is different, here the end is different, here the end is different. So that's why voltage depend. Voltage means potential difference between the 2 points, and points are all different. This is A, B, this is C, D. Suppose if this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Here current value will be the same current will flow. Current will be like I only. Here current is I, here current is I, but the voltage is different. Here write the voltage V1. Here the voltage is V2, here the voltage we write V3. Voltages are all different because the ends are different here. A and B, this is B and C, this is C and D. Different ends are there, different points are there. That's why voltages are different, whereas current is same. The total voltage is equal to this voltage. We can actually change total voltage. V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus so on. And now we will be using Ohm's law. Ohm's law formula is V equal to IR. So here we write V equal to I into R, total resistance R. V1 value I write here IR1, here I write IR2, here I write IR3. Because current is same, I into this, I into this, I into voltage formula is IR. Next line IR we write I common everywhere here. Here we get R1, R2 plus R3 and so on. I and I cancel, we get R value is coming, R1 plus R2 plus R3 and so on. So this is the formula in case of series combination. or we write resistance in series R with S, Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 and so on. The simple addition of all the resistances in the series. For example, R1 is 1 ohm, R2 is 2 ohm, R3 is 3 ohm. What is the total resistance? Simply add them. That is 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6 ohm is the value of total resistance of the circuit. Total resistance and the overall resistance, equivalent resistance also we call it RS, total resistance in series or equivalent resistance in series. Instead of all this, if there is a single resistance, what is the total resistance offered? The value is suppose 1, 2, 3, the answer becomes 6 ohm. That is denoted by RS, or we can simply write R. This is the formula over here. So according to this formula, we like here for n identical resistors, for n identical resistances, we write RS value will come n times of R, n times of R. What I mean to say, suppose all of them are identical, suppose 2 ohm plus, this is also 2 ohm, this is also 2 ohm, how many of them are there right now? 3. So what is the total resistance? You can add 2 plus 2 plus 2, the answer is coming 6. Instead of that, we can do multiply. N value, how many are there? 3. And what is the value of each? 2. So 3 to the answer is 6 ohm. That will be the answer. If there are 100 bulbs and the value of resistance of each bulb is 5 ohm, what is the value of total resistance? 100 bulbs are there, we write 100, and value of each bulb is how much? 5 ohm resistance. So 100 into 5, the total answer will come 500 ohms. This formula is only applicable when they all are identical, when they all are having same value, equal value. Then we can multiply and find the answer. That is, in series combination, the total resistance value will increase because simply you are adding each one individually. You are adding, so your answer will come more than the greatest of them, more than the greatest. What is the meaning of that? Suppose this is 1 ohm, this is 2 ohm, this is 3 ohm. Which is the greatest here? 3 ohm is the greatest. Your answer will come anything but it has to come more than this value, more than the greatest value. Whichever is the greatest, your answer will come more than that value because you are simply adding them. That is, in series combination, the total resistance increases. Total resistance increases. If there are many bulbs and all of them are in series, they are expected to glow brighter or dimmer. The answer is they are expected to glow dimmer. Why? Because the resistance is more. In series combination, the resistance value will become more. When the resistance is more, then current value will become less through each one and the bulb will glow dimmer. So in series combination, we expect the bulb to glow dimmer. So this is all about series combination. Now the second one is parallel combination. Parallel. Parallel combination, the figure will come like this. One resistance, another one. We show for 3 of them, but you can similarly put many more there. This end is A, this end is B. This is R1, this is R2, this is R3. Here the total current I is coming here and is divided into parts here. How many branches dividing? 1, 2, 3 parts. Okay, like this. This is there like this. Current through this I take as I1, current through this will become I2, current through this will be I3. The total current I is dividing into 3 branches because there are 3 resistances. So if there are 4, then it will divide into 4 branches. If there are 5 of them, 5 branches and so on. Currents are different here in each resistance. Previously current was same but voltage was different. This time the voltage will be the same because ends are same between A and B. This resistance is connected between A and B. This also connected between A and B. Also connected between A and B. So voltage is all the same and that is equal to V. That is voltage across each one is V. That we will show. Voltage from here till here is V. Whatever is dividing, we write the formula. I is dividing, yes, we write formula for I. I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 and so on. And this time we will use the Ohm's law from I equal to V by R. Here at V by R. I1 value write here V by R1, V by R2 because voltage is same. V by R3, whereas current is different. V by R, taking V common here we get 1 by R1, 1 by R2, 1 by R3 and so on. Take VB common and cancel, we get 1 by R values coming equal to 1 by R1, 1 by R2, 1 by R3 and so on. The formula will be like this, or this formula only we can write like this, or 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1, 1 by R2, 1 by R3 and so on. This is the formula here in this case. And for n identical resistor we can write here, for n identical resistances of value R ohm each, we write here Rp value will become R divided by N. You have to divide by N. Previously I multiplied by N because that was increasing, but here the value of total resistance will be decreasing. It will be less than the least of them. Less than because the formula is reciprocal based is coming. So your answer will come less than the least. Whichever is the least of them, so your answer will come even lesser than that. Suppose you are having 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm. So which is the least of them? 1 ohm. When you put all of them in parallel, your answer will come less than 1. If you do the calculation, answer will come less than 1. In the numerical parts, you can see that, you can apply that. That means in parallel combination, it is expected that the total resistance will decrease, will become less than the least. So in parallel combination, the bulbs are expected to glow brighter because the resistance decreases and the current increases. So the bulbs are expected to glow brighter. Suppose there are 100 bulbs and the resistance of each bulb is 5 ohm. What is the total resistance of the circuit? We will do the calculation. R value is 5 ohm and there are 100 bulbs. 5 upon 100, the answer will come 0.05 ohms. So this much, whatever we have done, has been the theory part of this chapter. So next class we will be doing the numerical problems, and that also they have shortened now, reduced it according to the new syllabus. So that we will be doing the next day.